While some 20 years ago, the whales and dolphins called Marineland home, there were also many employees who remember many a fishtail. Fred, just talk about the success of this day and what it's meant to you personally.
Oh, I'm so happy. I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but I've already seen today about 5 or 6 people that I had no idea would even be here. And I think a lot of people are like that. You know, there's one of our friends, he's 94 years old, Gil Lewis, is here. So that was a great surprise. I think the weather is awesome, good turnout. The beached animal release was good. That's all. I'm ecstatic. You know, that's all I can say.
Tell us what you used to do at Marineland.
I worked here as a part-time job at Palos Verdes High School, and so I worked in 1972, 1973, 1974. I started out in parking, and I slowly moved up the chain, and I moved into security.
What was it like back then?
It was this area was a lot less developed, so and Marineland was sort of just an amusement park. It was, and there were some a few rides or kids things in the tower and those things, but mainly it was for the marine mammals.
It's amazing to think back, to what, 20-some years ago, 30-some years ago, and then the way it looks now. Have you had a chance to walk around the property now?
Oh yeah, we come here. I still live in the area. I live in Hollywood Riviera, and we come here for brunch, and it's beautiful. Actually, there's 3 different people on our block that work here now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were kind of like the former employees, and you have the current employees as friends.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was pretty interesting. I would say the most memorable thing that I can remember about Marineland was I used to come early for security to make sure that none of the guests would come in, and I would have to go around the park and make sure that there was no one around. And I was first to discover some baby dolphins that had been born. So that was a thrill.
How did you get the job at Marineland?
I was sent down from an electrical company that I was working for in Los Angeles to put in a substation. That's when they were going to have the night shows at Marineland.
What was it like hanging out with all of the whales and the dolphins and the sea lions?
Well, I'll tell you, it was quite a thing. And it got to the point that anytime they started shooting a lot of movies down here, and Bill Monahan told the movie company, said, "Don't bother me, you deal through Gil."
Wow, okay.
So I had to take care of all the movie making. Sometimes I was here 2 or 3 days and nights making movies. But I'll tell you, it's like my wife said, we miss Marineland. We really miss Marineland. So we've had a lot of good times down here, seen a lot of people. I supervised the construction of the Sky Tower, and I took care of all the maintenance on it. No problem.
You did at Marineland.
I started as a youngster, about 15 years old. I worked on the cruise boats that used to take people up and down the coast. Then when we opened up the Sky Tower, I was the operator of the Sky Tower. And from there, I went into the announcing department, and I became the head announcer in the 60s until the mid-70s.
You started so young. What was it like for a young kid to work at an amusement park?
It was the greatest job I've ever had. Even as after years and went into the announcing department, it was a job that I look forward to going to work every day. Every day, sick or not, I would go to work. It was just a great place to work.
What was your favorite part of the park?
The whole thing was my favorite. I got to get real close to some of the animals. I had a pet penguin by the name of Aesop. It would follow me all around the park, and we used to wear blue blazers and white pants, and I guess the penguin must have thought I was his father, so he followed me all over the park. It was really a fun place to work.
Now, what's it like to see Terranea? It turned into Terranea now.
Well, it's a gorgeous resort, but it's kind of heartbreaking to drive up and down the coast and not see the big oceanarium and the tanks and the parking lot. It was just Marineland employed so many people over the years, summer jobs for the school kids that were locally. They worked in a snack bar, gift shops, and it's a beautiful resort. And even though I live 6 miles down the road, this is the first time I've been inside of it, so it's really nice.
Well, we're gonna let you enjoy the day, and thank you so much for stopping with me.
Well, thank you very much.
So Harry, I'm noticing that you have a similar uniform to the one that you wore at Marineland, but you still have the patch.
Correct. This was used to be on the Blazer, probably circa 1973 to 1974, and then the name tag goes back to when Hollywood Turf Club owned it, or took over ownership probably in 1972.
Now tell us what you did at Marineland.
I started on the giant slide at age 16, then worked my way up to usher for the shows, and then ticket seller up at the. And my beginning pay was $1.65 an hour, and the pay as a ticket seller was $4.54 when I left Marineland after 1978, summer of 1978.
So of all the jobs that you had there, what was your favorite job?
Just being there. Yeah, I love the giant slide, but I enjoyed being an usher at the shows. You know, we just move around from show to show, you know, doing crowd control, and it's very enjoyable being outside with this kind of a view daily.
You know, it's amazing as we just meet people here. So many people that used to work at the park. You all know each other, share stories.
Yeah, there's a cross section here of 30 some odd years, but yeah, there's a lot of overlap.
Is there one story that sticks out in your mind, something you remember, a day at the park or something that happened?
Oh boy, we were just talking about some of the evening concerts when they used to, 20th Century Fox would bring in Ray Charles or Glenn Yarborough and the Limelighters, and they'd have the concert down at the Sea Arena in the evening. And Hobo Kelly did her TV show. There were a lot of shows. The Streets of San Francisco. There was filming going on. Yeah.
Rita, you said this was only the second painting that you ever did. Just talk about your story about how you started going to Marineland.
Because I had a daughter, and she was about 4 years old, and she had terrible allergies against dust. So my thought was, where can I keep this child, where it would be dust-free? And so we literally ended up living out here, and finally later she got desensitized. But not only did it help coming here for the asthma, but we had a lot of fun.
Yeah. That obviously inspired you to do this beautiful painting here.
Yeah, well, it was dear to my heart, it was fun, and at first I didn't know if I could sort of capture it because it's still very naive. Now I do much more, the details are much more finer. This was done, when did I do it?
That was
in 84, yeah.
Did you have to actually be in the park while you were drawing this? Or?
No, I took lots of photographs. And then the composition was, but I think what's charming about it is that it is kind of childlike.
It is, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm sure that just, the memories of being there with your daughter is very special.
Oh, yeah, and we were very sad when it closed,
Do you have a favorite show or a favorite thing?
I think we liked maybe the animal hospital. They had, where the little animals would come and they try to bring them back, but we basically loved it all. And all the fish, you can see. The lifeguards, but I'm happy that they didn't take our coastline, so I'm glad it's now still access to the public.
Yes, and it's nice that Terranea is remembering Marineland today as well.
Yes, very, very nice of it, yeah, so I wish them much success.